Thank you all for joining us today. Now, the Assembly's only Green MLA has said we need cuts in public expenditure like a hole in the head. Brian Wilson also said that the Northern Ireland economy was fragile and politicians should delay the cuts for as long as possible. He was speaking as Green activists gathered for their annual conference in Downpatrick. Our political reporter, Stephen Walker, was there.
This year's gathering was surrounded by rather obvious examples of green living, deep in the countryside of County Down. And for a party that puts renewal and restoration at the centre of its political philosophy, this year's conference venue seemed particularly appropriate. A restored 18th century mill. Inside, the talk was not about the past, but about the future and how the executive should respond to public expenditure cuts. The party's only MLA, Brian Wilson, warned that the cutbacks were too big and were happening too fast.
It's going to hit the homeless, it's going to hit the elderly, it's going to hit the disabled and people on benefits. And it's grossly unfair.
If activists wanted to know how to handle large-scale cuts, there was advice on hand. Party leader John Gormley, a member of the Fianna Fáil Green Coalition, has already endorsed plans for large-scale cutbacks in the Republic. Will people not find it strange that you're embracing cuts in the south but opposing them in the north?
When you're in opposition, you hold the government to account. That's the duty of an opposition. Likewise, when you're in government, you have to put forward proposals. Many of them can be unpalatable. We know in the south how unpalatable those cuts can be, but we try to do so in a way which is fair, which is a way that can lead to a greener economy and sustain jobs. And I think our colleagues up north understand that.
We've been involved in many campaigns.
Brian Wilson is considering stepping down at next year's Assembly elections. It's expected Steven Agnew could stand in his place. Anne Wilson, Brian's wife, could also be a candidate, and yesterday she came to watch her husband's speech. But she's not a party member. She's in the Alliance Party, and if she runs next May, she could actually stop the Greens from holding their only seat.
We're quite happy to see Anne here today. She's a friend and a colleague, and you know, there's no rivalry until election time.
You might be a bit miffed if she pinched Brian's seat.
I don't foresee that happening. I think the Greens will hold the seat in North Down, regardless of who stands.
You don't think they'll lose it to Anne Wilson?
I don't think we'll lose it to anyone.
Such confidence is predictable. The Greens may be a lone voice at Stormont, but they have no plans of leaving just yet.
So, what are the prospects for Northern Ireland's economy as we enter this age of austerity? With me,